unusual for Will, a guy who, I mean, on that kind of stage to do something so insane.
Absolutely.
It's totally out of character.
It's not him whatsoever. My honest opinion about that is that narrative had more to do with the false narrative that I helped to create on the red table.
So poor Will because of
the adulterous wife.
Yeah.
Who forced him to go to the table and sit there, you know what I mean? And now look at what she's done. She has the power with an eye roll to make him go up and slap somebody on stage.
Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Smith's wife, recently said that he not only acts for movies, but also for his marriage to the public. Thus, Will Smith can't seem to get a break as she keeps airing out their marital issues. More people are shocked about this than when Jada revealed she had an affair with musician August Alsina on the internet. According to Jada Smith, things have only gotten worse since then and have been this way since 2016. But why is Jada airing all of their troubling business in public? What specifically did Will Smith think of her online antics? On a recent NBC News primetime show with Hoda Kotb, Jada Pinkett Smith was interviewed. Even though they didn't go through the formal process to be divorced, she disclosed that the two of them did so in 2016. Since then, the two have maintained a facade in front of the public in order to appear to be the ideal pair. That decision to live separate lives was made in 2016 by both of you and Will. Although it wasn't officially declared, there was a divorce. By the time we reached 2016, we had simply given up trying, which has prompted a drastic turn of events for everyone. But it was only the beginning of the conversation. When Jada started to discuss her entire marriage, things only heated up a little more. She provided an explanation for why this information hadn't been made public earlier, stating that they weren't ready and that the two were still working out their differences and how to work together, which was all the more bizarre given that the two had been together for a whopping 26 years before deciding to split in 2016. The two actually had that much time, but they weren't sure if they truly knew one another. I find it a little odd, but everyone has their reasons. We will eventually learn the truth. It's simply up to them when they decide to reveal it. Jada began to disclose more details about their marital issues during the interview, so it did not end there. And from this point forward, chaos set in. Jada explained why the two had initially split, saying, "I think by the time we got to 2016, we just got tired of trying." As the conversation continued, "I believe that we were both still somewhat mired in our idealized conceptions of what the other person ought to be," the speaker said. Because the supposedly perfect pair was not actually flawless, this caused complete turmoil on the internet. Think about how unfortunate the timing was when they chose to break up in 2016, only 2 years after J. Cole released No Role Models. But why haven't they divorced yet is the question that everyone is asking right now. I mean, the two had already made up their minds to part ways in 2016. Well, according to Pinkett, she said that she simply couldn't divorce Will Smith in writing. She stated, "Made a promise, and I haven't been able to break that promise," as the reason why she didn't want to breach her pledge to Will. She is completely insane for wanting to continue with something that isn't working because the entire situation is a complete train wreck. But let's go back a bit because Jada brings up a subject in this interview that put Will Smith and comedian Chris Rock into a bit of a jam. First of all, what's going on right now? I'm pretty astonished since, although I'm not there, we haven't used the terms husband and wife in a while. I make sure not to mention my wife by name, is I right? And I said, but now that I don't know what's happening, I'm really worried for Will. Because after this interview, what we initially believed to be a brave gesture turned out to be the exact opposite, which made things a little strange. Because on March 27, 2022, during the 94th Academy Awards, Will Smith punched Chris Rock for making a joke about his wife Pinkett Smith's baldness. Will Smith slapped Chris Rock on Oscars night 2029 when Chris joked about Jada's hair. But Jada said, "I thought this was a skit," making it clear that what Will did was unnecessary. There's no way we'll hit him, I thought. You rolled your eyes. Right. Yeah, I performed the eye roll, but it wasn't really for me. And this, in my opinion, is quite significant. However, there might be a dig at alopecia. I didn't even know it wasn't a skit until Will started to return to his chair. Jada questioned Will's well-being since she was so shocked by what he had done that evening. I'm very concerned for Will since I have no idea what's happening. Following the Oscars, Smith criticized his actions as unethical and unjustifiable in a post on Instagram. It's part of the job to make jokes about me, but the one about Jada's health was too much for me to handle, and I lost it. I'd like to officially apologize to you, Chris, he wrote. I made a mistake and stepped out of line. I feel ashamed because I did not act like the man I want to be. In a world of love and kindness, violence has no place. In his post, Smith noted that all forms of violence are poisonous and destructive. Along with the Academy, the show's producers, all of the viewers worldwide, the family of tennis players Venus and Serena Williams, and those associated with the movie for which he received the Best Actor award on Sunday, he also included an apology in his note. I sincerely apologize that my actions have marred what has otherwise been a beautiful trip for all of us, he added. I am still developing. Some others considered this apology to be adequate and that it was time to move on. Some people weren't as moved and questioned Will's decision to post that on Instagram. Regardless of whether it was good or not, the Academy was looking into the situation and hadn't made a decision until Will forced it. Over the years, Will and Jada have endured a lot of rumors about their union, while frequently remaining steadfast and fighting back. In reality, Will strongly denounced divorce rumors on social media a year before they discreetly took a sabbatical. In most cases, I don't react to stupidity because it spreads easily, he stated in a 2015 Facebook post. However, I've had so many heartfelt condolences from people that I thought, what the heck, I can be silly too. Jada and I so decided against obtaining a divorce in order to avoid repetition and repetition. If I ever decide to divorce my queen, I swear to you all that I will tell you all by myself. When discussing Jada's previous relationship with August Alsina on their 2020 Red Table Talk episode, the couple only admitted to a brief split, referring to it at the time as an entanglement. Why did Jada wait until now to disclose that she and Will are no longer romantically involved? They have a son named Jaden and a daughter named Willow. The actress, who discusses her breakup with the Oscar-winning actor in her soon-to-be-published biography, remarked, I think just not being ready yet. Worthy. We're still figuring out how to work together as a collaboration. How may we demonstrate that to others? We weren't aware of that. The people were incensed by this interview's somewhat haphazard nature and what it portended for them. Wait. Why didn't Mrs. Jada Pinkett Smith speak up when Will's entire career was at stake due to him defending her name? A supporter questioned. I apologize. She's such a loser to me for being so silly. Another remarked that Will Smith ought to grant Jada Pinkett the divorce she desires at this point because, man, I've been losing respect for the man every time she speaks, and I no longer have any. And there is no way Will Smith would have let his wife's statement harm his career or make him look bad in public. As if all of this wasn't enough, Will's acting reputation was questioned. According to several rumors, various studios and streamers like Netflix have halted any films that Will Smith was working on at the time. He had been working on the crime boss thriller Fast and Loose for Netflix, in which he also starred. Additionally, keep in mind that he was developing other sequels with them, such as Bright 2, and that his Bad Boys franchise was going to get a fourth movie once Bad Boys for Life did well at the box office. However, despite Smith having seen pages of the script just days prior to the events, it was subsequently put on hold. So why did everything occur in this manner? Despite winning Best Actor at the time, Will Smith was radioactive because he attacked someone and at first received no punishment for it. It would have been hypocritical if people had hurried to recruit him for projects. And even though he was in self-imposed exile, it wasn't appropriate for him to start producing movies, TV shows, and other things straight away. To be clear, Will Smith was most likely going to resume making movies and TV shows, even if he retired or something else became known. But for the time being, he was put on notice in a number of ways. Yes, Jada's actions toward Will Smith have enraged the entire internet, and some have even referred to them as a betrayal. Because as a wife, you are expected to respect your husband, regardless of the circumstances, and Jada Pinkett Smith doesn't seem to be able to follow that promise. However, please share your thoughts with us regarding the upcoming monstrosity between Jada Smith and Will Smith. Do you believe the couple will ultimately file for divorce? Do you believe that Will Smith's Chris Rock slap incident has become much more embarrassing as a result of the entire situation? And if that's the case, how do you think Chris will react to the whole situation? Tell us in the comments section below. If you liked this video, give it a like, subscribe, and then watch this one. If you liked this video, give it a like, subscribe, and let me know if you liked this video.